Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and a few weeks ago we showed you the largest and most versatile way to carry things and people on electricity alone. That was the Escalade IQL, and it cost well over $100,000. So if you want to move many people and some stuff, but as easily as you can while still being economical, this is the way you do it. This is the Toyota Sienna, specifically the Woodland edition. This one is giving you some very cool green paint on top of an XLE platform with 0.6 inches of extra ground clearance, some different wheels, some different fake leather inside, the JBL 12 speaker sound system, of which we have a review separately linked below, all-wheel drive, and a 3,500 pound tow rating with the, it looks like a class 3 hitch already installed there in the vehicle. So for all that, you pay about $52,000, which once you took an XLE and added all those individual packages, you'd be right up about that anyway after destination and before tax, title, and fees. Is that a good deal? Is it not? That's kind of up to you to decide, but I would argue that the Sienna, and hopefully this isn't bearing my lead a little bit here from the kind of final conclusion, but the Sienna is hard to argue against for being one of the smartest ways to move your family and your stuff around the streets here in America in 2026, because I have been averaging 34 miles per gallon with this car, and that is with filming, idling, moving family around, driving in Southern California traffic, having the air conditioning running on 90-degree days, running full throttle while I'm filming for Winding Road magazine, and cruising steady state 70 miles per hour for our highway fuel economy test. Name me another vehicle with which you can move 7 people, tow 3,500 pounds, put stuff on the roof, have all-wheel drive, and still be getting in the mid-30s for fuel economy without trying at all. I mean, I have not been trying to drive this efficiently by any means. It's simply just that efficient. And when Toyota went to the hybrid-only setup for the Sienna back in, I believe it was the 2021 model year, after driving it, I said, this just makes so much sense. Yes, it's not as exciting to drive as the Odyssey. Yes, it's not as cool looking as the Chrysler, the Pacifica, or the Kia Carnival, I would argue. But to get Toyota reliability, ease of fuel economy, never have to plug it in, and have a vehicle that simply works, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. But I do still have to go through my pros and cons with you, and we still have to shout out the video sponsor, LazFit. Now, we get LazFit or LaceFit. You know, I prefer saying LaceFit, even though I assume it's pronounced LazFit. LaceFit sounds better to me. But either way, we get these floor liners for just about every car that we review. And most of them, I just put it in the car. I'm like, yeah, look, it works. It either swaps out for a carpeted floor mat or maybe swaps out for an all-weather floor mat or something. But I was seriously impressed with the LazFit floor mats for the Toyota Sienna here, because let me show you this B-roll here when I was taking out the factory floor mats to go in this second row. Look how much more coverage you get with the LazFit mats. They have these little like ledges almost that you tuck right under the hard plastic bits of the Sienna floor here, and it covers just about every square inch. I mean, look at this. It goes well under each side, all the way through, up under, and comes around and goes through the middle. I mean, it really tries to cover every little square inch of the floor. And if you have kids and you're using this for bringing dirty feet in here and the mud and the slush, or snacks, or maybe you have pets, you got dogs running up in here or something, having this level of coverage is awesome, especially compared to the factory floor mats, which, sure, I'll give it to Toyota. They look cooler. These they got kind of the fun woodlandy sort of look on them, but let me just take this one right here. I don't know if it does go right here, but it goes in the center of one of these two. Look at the difference in coverage comparatively. So absolutely, even if you're getting one of these Woodland editions and you already get these rubber floor mats, I would swap them out with a set from LazFit. Check the link below. You can get 18% off using my code DailyMotor. They help support the channel, we help support them, but ultimately you're going to have a better time living with your Woodland edition if you're using it for any dirty sort of stuff with a set of mats like this. So seriously, check them out, use the code below. We have entirely moved locations because my GoPro decided to lose majority of that footage that I just recorded, so we're going to be entirely re-recording these pros and cons. But starting out with my pros, the general ease of use here with the Toyota Sienna. It's so hard to argue that a minivan is not the best way to go for moving you and your loved ones and your life around on a day-to-day basis. If you're kind of back and forth between, I don't know if I should get an SUV because they're cooler and there's many more options and a little more ground clearance, or get a minivan, the fact that you have sliding open doors here to easily get in and out, get people and things in and out in parking lots, and then this giant aperture with which to get things in and out of, whether you're moving the seat back and crawling back here, putting stuff in, getting things situated, crawling over to a second kid over on the side, getting into the back. It's so nice to have the low step in for either you or for kids, the big open door opening. And then throughout this week, I've been loading in my daughter in her car seat. In fact, today is her birthday, 1 year old, so happy birthday to Eve. I put her in her doona, I pick it up, put it right in here, strap it down, and then I kind of slide the seat forward to get it tucked in nicely to give our third row passengers a little more space, allow her to look out the window a little bit more, get a little bit more air on her from this air vent up here above me. But then again, if you're not using in the third row at all, you can move this way back, and then adults or larger teenagers or something can have a bunch of room right here to put things. If you're getting animals in and out of here, very key to be able to give them some extra room. There's a simplicity and an ease of use to just about everything with this car that it simply works. And most of that extends up here into the front as well. Get in, and Toyota has been doing a really good job at getting a little bit more creative with having extra places to put things. You even got a little shelf right here that's got grip in it so things don't rattle and slide around. The doors have multiple levels. Big opening down here. Hopefully you all can see it okay in this bright sunlight. As you saw at the beginning, I was filming in the shadow, but again, rip to my GoPro, I guess. A manual sunroof shade, very nice, easy to use there. Physical controls for climate, physical controls on the steering wheel. An infotainment screen that's not so far away that you have to lean way forward in order to touch it. Yeah, it's not the most robust infotainment system, but as long as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto work easily, that's just about all I care for. So, all things considered, the Sienna makes your life easier when you're just trying to do life with it, and I really have appreciated that. Next pro, the JBL sound system. We've got a separate review like I mentioned, but 12 speakers, big old subwoofer in the rear lift gate, which I missed in the sound system test for any people who happen to watch both, and the commenters were like, "Oh, you idiot, it's right back here, it's this giant JBL speaker, it's not in the side." So sorry for that, everybody. But it's not only having a fairly decent audio system in a minivan, but also the fact that Toyota doesn't hide it away in just the very top level trim. Some manufacturers make you pay all the way up for all the bells and whistles just to get decent audio in your car. Or there's manufacturers like Honda who don't even give you a branded audio system in the Odyssey. So even if you spend $55,000 or whatever for the top elite trim, you still don't have very good sound quality. So I've appreciated having the JBL in here, and I like that you don't have to pay for a top level limited or platinum or anything to get it. Next pro is the Woodland edition itself. I like the green paint, I like the wheels, I like the fact that you have a little extra ground clearance. Yes, it's not going to go out and do hardcore off-roading. Yes, these tires are still just basic, normal on-road sort of tires, but if you use this regularly for camping or for dirt roads, hiking trails, anything like that, or if you live in an area that gets a significant amount of snow, or maybe you just have a lot of driveways that are steep getting in and out of, or really broken, potholey, rough roads, the fact that you got a little bit of extra ground clearance, you've got a good amount of sidewall on the tires, that helps a lot in day-to-day driving. And then you don't even really see a meaningful fuel economy drop either. EPA ratings are the same for the Woodland edition. I would personally get this one, and I'd throw some beefier tires out there and, just see what we could do. Taking it on some trails would be kind of fun. But I like the extra cross-stitching. I like the designs in the seats. I like the all-wheel drive. 3,500 pound tow rating is not going to do a bunch, but you could pull some jet skis or a light camper, or perhaps more meaningfully, You can put a hitch carrier on there and you could do storage, you could do bicycles. It just really adds to the general usability of the car and adds just a little bit of character to a vehicle that really doesn't have much character to begin with because it's such a utility machine. Next pro, bringing the Sienna to life here. Despite any other pro or con about this car, the powertrain alone is enough to justify this vehicle over nearly everything else on the road. Is it exciting? No. Is it refined or powerful or thrilling? No. But I have been getting, like I said earlier, 34 miles per gallon using this vehicle fairly intense. If you're just easily driving this kind of day-to-day, city, highway, doesn't matter, you'll have no problem getting mid-30s, mid to upper 30s even, in fuel economy, which for a vehicle that can carry 7 or 8 people, 3,500 pounds on the back, that's incredible. It really is. And it's, you don't have to worry about plugging it in, you don't have to worry about driving it just right, anything like that. No, it's a get in and drive sort of vehicle that's going to save you thousands of dollars at the pump depending on what sort of driving you do and where you live. How do you argue against that when you're just looking for a vehicle to drive you and your family around? Do some people complain about the 2.5 liter inline 4 as opposed to something like a V6? Yeah. However, every time Toyota uses this engine in a car, it gets fantastic fuel economy and it's dead reliable. That's what I want in this car. Do I think Honda's V6 is cooler, sounds better, it's more powerful, everything? Yeah, of course. But that's not what I'm looking for in my minivan. I'm looking for a car that's going to save me money, make my life easy. That's what the Sienna does. And couple that with some all-wheel drive, this is a fantastic, fantastic powertrain. Coming back here static for my cons. I understand that styling is more or less in the eye of the beholder. However, I would think most people would agree with me that the Sienna and the Honda Odyssey are both not as attractive as the Kia Carnival and the Chrysler Pacifica, especially the upcoming Chrysler Pacifica, the leaked 2027 model. I don't know if it'll be official by the time this video goes out. It's fine. I've just never been a fan of the styling of this generation of Sienna. I think the last ones were actually decently attractive, a little bit more subtle, small grille, peaceful headlights. This one, I understand it kind of meets the newer Toyota design language, but I could go without this giant gaping front grille area and these huge headlights, very bug-like looking. And then you've got the Toyota roof rails that sort of look like a receding hairline because they don't start until halfway through the roof, which again I understand from a functionality standpoint, but yeah, some people might not care that their minivan doesn't look great, myself included. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. However, I could easily see some people going toward the Kia or the Pacifica simply to look better. Next con. In general, I do appreciate the usability of this car. However, I would argue they could go much better by eliminating this giant shifter and getting more creative with all this dead space inside the center area. Most of the other brands have shifters that are tucked away more, whether they're buttons or knobs or columns or anything, freeing up all of the space, allowing you to have larger cup holders, more spots to put stuff. I mean, you can't have enough places to store things in a minivan. So the fact that you have so much of this area taken up by plastic, they could do better. They could make it even better, and they could start with that by removing or changing the shifter. Some people are going to appreciate a classic shifter like this. I would like to be more creative, be better with my space utilization. And not only that, the cup holders are not particularly useful. If you're somebody who walks around with a big 32-ounce metal water bottle like I do, you can just barely fit it into this cup holder. The doors don't have great bottle holders, so you kind of be looking for something that's got a little bit larger of a cup holder spot these days. Next con, coming back here into the third row, it's more of a third row for children and people who don't need to be using the third row that often. Compared to some full-size SUVs or some other minivans that have third rows that are really quite comfortable for full-size adults, the Sienna's third row is basic. It's got not the world's most knee room or foot room, and the Sienna's third row is fairly low, so my feet are fairly high up. Might have something to do with the hybrid battery. Very basic seating position. It's not somewhere where I'd want to be for a particularly long period of time, being my size, as opposed to some of the other vehicles. And again, if you're just somebody with 2 kids, maybe they're mostly using up here, the third row is more for friends or occasional family, totally get it, not a big deal. But if you're somebody who really puts that third row into use daily, you might want to consider another option. Next con, the driver's seating position. I went back and forth throughout the week of whether this should be a con or not, and I ultimately decided to put it on here. The seat doesn't quite go low enough. I'm only 5'10", 32-inch inseam, but something between the geometry of the steering wheel, the pedals, and the seat, especially the seat back, I just haven't been able to get low enough to be comfortable here in the Sienna. And in short periods of time, no big deal at all. But longer drives is where I find myself just wanting to adjust something, and I can't quite get it to the position that I feel like it would be right. I don't know if there's battery going on underneath me or something like that, but it could be better. And then on top of that, there's no handle up here for the driver. And again, I know it's subtle, I know many vehicles don't have that, but I personally, if I'm driving for more than half an hour or so, I like to put my hand up here and rest it as a place to, I don't know, just have my hand for some reason. And Toyota Sienna doesn't have that. Next con. This car has auto hold, which for those of you who don't know, many vehicles here with electronic parking brakes are coming with a feature where you can turn this on, and then when you come to a stop, the vehicle holds itself until you push on the gas pedal again. I like that, I do, but for some reason in the Toyotas, and please let me know in the comments if there's a way to permanently change this, because I feel like there probably is, but I haven't been able to figure it out. For some reason in Toyotas, you have to enable that functionality every time you drive. So I'm driving along here, and I've got the auto hold off because I just recently restarted the vehicle. Turn it on. Next time I restart the car, that's going to be off again. I don't quite understand why. It's just a minor frustration, but frustrating when you're driving around for a while and you're used to it holding you, and then it doesn't. The last pro is something I'm calling the T factor. It's hard to argue against Toyotas in their reputation for safety, reliability, ease of use, and general ownership. So if you're buying a vehicle like a minivan, you probably want that vehicle to last in your life for a while. It's not a kind of a flash in the pan sort of impulse buy sort of thing. It's probably well calculated. It's something you need to work well for not only you, but family members and for a significant period of time. So aspects like reliability, fuel economy, ease of use, repairability, maintenance costs, all of these really factor in. So when you look across the market and you think, okay, well, you know, Kia's got this Carnival that's it's a hybrid now, and it's got cool functionality and looks great and everything, and they got a 10-year powertrain warranty, but is a Kia going to be more reliable than a Toyota? You could argue if you maintain them both properly, I don't know. But the thing is, Toyota has the reputation, no other brand has a reputation like Toyota for being as reliable as this. And we're not talking about one of the new twin-turbo 6s in the Tundra or something like that. We're not talking about the new hybrid iForce Max Tacoma or anything. We're talking about their 2.5-liter inline-4 and simple hybrid powertrain. These are the type of cars that have been getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles as New York taxis being driven around. I'm pretty sure this is going to last as long as you want and need it to for you and your family. So if I'm buying a car in this class, do I like driving the Honda more? Yes. Do I like the way the Chrysler feels inside more? Yes. Do I like the way the Kia looks more? Yes. But if it's my money going down for a vehicle that I'm going to own and my wife and kids are going to use for 10 years, it's probably going to be the Toyota. It probably is. But with that, we do need to put the Sienna on the Daily Motor leaderboard. Still a fairly compact DM leaderboard right now. We're in March already, but been busy. So current leaders: Kia K4, Hyundai Ioniq 9, and Cadillac Escalade IQL. Now this is interesting. I don't think it definitely doesn't beat the Kia K4. The Outback and the Escalade are good. I'm thinking it's got to compete with the Ioniq 9, both in class, sort of, but also just for impressiveness. The Ioniq 9, the SCL that I drove, you can get for about $59,000 right now, so only a little bit more expensive than this. It's going to cost less to run, but you got potential Hyundai reliability issues. It's faster and smoother, but not as easily laid out. It's really hard to argue against this car. But there's going to be a lot of people who aren't very interested in it because it's a minivan. The only reason that we're putting it in second above the Hyundai Ioniq 9 is because I'm getting a little bit spooked by those potential ICCU issues in the Hyundai electric vehicles. And they had to do a recall. And, Hyundai also had to do a recall recently about their folding seats in the Palisade, but I think it applies to the Ioniq 9 as well. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about Hyundai right now, and I don't know if I want to put their vehicle above one that I know that I could say to any of my friends, family, or loved ones, hey, go buy a Sienna, your life is going to be better. So, hey, it's not as affordable and as fun and cool as a Kia K4 hatchback, but man, it does a lot of things well. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Sienna, check the link below. We've got our JBL sound system review. We've also got our highway fuel economy test. Someday I'd love to take a Sienna Woodland and maybe put it through some little bit of off-roading, load up the hitch or something like that. But this week it was just moving a family around. That's what these minivans are good at. Big shout out to LadsFit for sponsoring the video, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.